I have a video that is just incredible for you to watch. I would like to welcome back Crypto Lewis XRP, who will be discussing Ripple's banking license and the impact that people are often underestimating how significant this is going to be. As I play this video, I would want to provide you with some more background. There is also going to be a video clip from Apex 2025 that we are going to look at here. A number of the most significant partnerships and acquisitions in the cryptocurrency and blockchain industries have been made by Ripple. I would want to provide you with some extra information regarding the reasons why this is so critical to their infrastructure and the process of carrying it out. In addition to this, we are going to investigate the most significant partners that Ripple has on the market, as well as the reasons why this will have such a significant influence on the XRP ledger in the future. Are you ready to get started? I couldn't be happier to have a clip from Lewis Man in my possession. Both this individual and his studies have my utmost admiration. Let's listen to what he has to say, shall we? The most fundamental thing that this will make it possible for Ripple to do is to actually keep stable currency as reserves with the Treasury. This is an example of Ripple and RLUSD being directly integrated with the government in stable currency in this scenario. So what does that imply? The price of XRP has climbed as a result of improved liquidity, which in turn corresponds to increased performance for XRP, which in turn corresponds to increasing demand for XRP. The news is very astounding, but here is the item that really piqued my interest, and this is where we will begin discussing it. It's okay, you know. As a result of this bull run, it is possible that we will reach a price of $10, $11 or $12 for XRP. However, once we approach the utility phase, and I believe that this entire thing Ripple will become a bank, then that is okay. It seems to me that we have entered the utility phase at this point. You could believe that everything is going to change the moment that they sign that contract and the SEC gives its approval to it, which means that Ripple is now a bank. And I would want to explain the reason why, instantaneously, in order to differentiate between a few items here. I believe that he is referring to the agreement that Ripple and the SEC have reached, which involves the termination of their appeals. Ripple has submitted a national banking charter, thus who gives their approval for the company to become a bank. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency is the one who has to review that information. I have just finished making a fantastic movie that covers everything that must go place in order for Ripple to become a payment system. It won't happen overnight. That much is certain. This will be a procedure that takes a very long time. In the event that you are interested in seeing that video, it is anticipated that it will be released on Saturday with this video. Permit me to continue playing this though. I'm sorry to have interrupted you. As a result of XRP below, consequently, this makes it possible for a wide variety of businesses, including financial institutions, to utilize XRP exclusively for their transactions. It makes it possible for transactions to be settled very rapidly and at a very low cost, among other benefits. Because Ripple does not require SWIFT, the company is able to settle enormous transactions in compliance with and alongside the government without the usage of SWIFT. However, by using the new standard of language ISO 20022, Ripple is able to do all of this utilizing Ripple's technology. Here is why it is so intriguing. The moment they do that, utility begins, because the competitive advantage that Ripple has over any other bank is now being highlighted. This is why it is so attractive. Let us assume that the costs associated with a transaction of $1 million might amount to $1,000, and that this is the amount that would be obtained by utilizing any other bank, in addition to the SWIFT system and all of that. A price of less than $10 is possible. The cost of carrying out these transactions would be far more than this amount. Ripple would then of course add their own cut to it in terms of fees, and that would put the total amount. You will end up spending, like, I'm making figures up here, but you may end up paying $200 instead of $1,000 still. And people will gladly pay the fees, because at the end of everything you will end up paying like that. Additionally, the consumer receives reduced costs. This means that the customer experience is more expedient, since it is possible to transfer payments across the globe instantly. Additionally, it is significantly more cost-effective, and it is not going to fail because the quantity of payments that people make across borders is not going to fail. Due to the fact that I am really thrilled, I am speaking quite fast here. Not only is it going to be an amazing experience for us, but it is also going to provide Ripple a large margin to earn some profit, which is something that we want them to do as a corporation. However, once there is a profit, other businesses and financial institutions will begin to investigate the situation. It's going to happen. What is this? Not only can we generate more money, but we can also charge our clients less. For example, I believe that is something that we would want to undertake. Moreover, we do not require Swift to carry it out because everything is taken care of as well. It is comparable to this situation with all-in-one software that is capable of doing all of the tasks. To be sure, yes. In that way, everything will turn out. Now is the time to step in. Ripple, if that is what Ripple is known for, I enjoy my man's enthusiasm there. The amount of effort that Lewis has invested in comprehending all of this is something that I admire and appreciate. He puts in the same amount of effort that I do, and I like hearing to him talk about how he perceives things and how he comprehends them for the first time. I can honestly say that it makes my day better. Consequently, if you are not currently following him on YouTube, you have to allow me to demonstrate who he is if you are not familiar with his name. Even while I am aware that many of you probably do, XRP. What do you think, Lewis? At that same moment there is the account belonging to my guy Lewis Jackson with 135,000 subscribers. I recommend that you check out his channel. There is a lot of incredibly useful knowledge that he possesses. Listed below are some of the additional benefits. Even if he was addressing some of this as well, he was referring to direct access to the payment systems of the Federal Reserve. Within the context of quick settlement, Ripple has the capability to settle transactions directly using various systems such as Fedwire, FedEx, and FedEx. The daily processing of $4.3 trillion via Fedwire is a fact. That is a significant amount of money. Having the ability to use XRP or RLUSD for that settlement may potentially save this entire system billions or perhaps trillions of dollars over the course of the next 10 years. The reduction of expenses was of course a topic that was widely discussed on our end. Trust and validity in regulatory processes. In other words, when you have a national banking license, the federal government of the United States has already completed all of the necessary research and analysis. If you are a corporation that is attempting to become a bank, the federal government of the United States of America is stating that you have everything that we require from you. Additionally, after we have provided you with that signed and sealed consent, Ripple will be able to utilize this to its advantage in any meeting that takes place anywhere in the globe, which is why it is such a significant matter. Having compliance preparedness and being in a position to comply with forthcoming regulations like as the Genius Act, which mandates that big stable currencies operate under the supervision of the federal government, are both important for Ripple. So it is likely that this is the reason why Ripple is taking this action. Ripple is seeking for even more credibility due to the fact that stablecoins are going to have a very tight watch on them. This would give Ripple even more reputation, which is what they are aiming for. Integration between RLUSD and XRP has been worked on. This is the topic that we have just been discussing, easy access to and exit from ramps. Ripple has the ability to directly issue and redeem RLUSD, manage reserves at the Federal Reserve, and permit quick conversion between RLUSD and XRP. Additionally, its ability to integrate these assets